welcome into week 1, the beginning of the end, last season of this series. Season 4, we've won 3 Super Bowls in a row. The last Super Bowl against the Las Vegas Raiders, who we will start this season facing off against. A very similar foe. They had a great game against us in that Super Bowl, just we played a bit better. And we've made some changes in the off-season, post-season, with a few different changes here and there, a few different guys who will be getting the starting spot. Danielle Hunter, though, he starts off exactly how you would expect. Sack first play of the season, loss of 9. Larkin tried to get away, but Hunter just, with that pursuit, that speed, Larkin not able to get away. He should have thrown the ball away about 5 yards before Danielle even got there, but we'll take the sack and bring up a 2nd and long. And as for those changes that we've made, Graves back playing DT this year with our rookie end in Hatchett. Drafted him first round out of Arizona State. And then we made a little bit of some shuffle around, really, with the linebacking core. They're in on the play. Eldra Hilton is getting the start at left outside linebacker in the base package. However, whenever we go to the nickel formation, we don't have 3 linebackers out there, obviously, so it's going to be Brooks, and as we got beat horribly there, that in this first game with Byron Jones, he gives up a deep shot there to Ruggs. But Brooks and Kendricks are the number 1 and 2 for the nickel, but then if ever they need a break, Harrison Smith will come out to spell them out. As a nice first run here from Josh Jacobs, but a flag is down. This could be getting backed up. And with holding on Tommy Alexander, it will back him up, but not very much. That holding actually ended up being 9 yards downfield, so they're only going to basically just restart first down, just redo that same play. Not going to get as good of a play. It will be a reception to Jacobs this time rather than a run. And then besides the addition of Hatchett and then the kind of shuffle around at linebacker, mostly everyone about the same. Obviously Byron Jones in his first game at outside corner. And then for the slot, we're going to kind of play a little bit of hot potato, at least to start the year. So DJ Reed Jr., who started for us last year and helped us win our 3rd Super Bowl, he will continue to start. If we see that he struggles at all, we do have the rookie in Amari Wilcox, who played very well in the preseason. Honestly, Wilcox and Reed, they played almost identical. Their stats were very similar. So we'll try to see who plays best and keep them out there. But as for right now, Raiders moving down the field, and this is exactly what we saw them do in the Super Bowl. They were able to beat a lot of our calls on offense, or beat our defensive calls with their offense. Josh Jacobs gets a couple here on this run, bringing it down to the 14. But we just happened to get a few more plays than they did in that Super Bowl. Ended up helping us clinch it, basically. So I expect this to be a good game, but one that I do think we can win. And I'm honestly very glad that they went with that check down. We were on man coverage on the tight end, and he definitely beat us to the outside. So good thing they went with the underneath route. Bring up a 3rd and short. Kendricks there, but just a step too late. Will be a first down to Waller. 1st and goal from the 6. And we expect that Hatchett, our new end, could be a great tandem with Danielle on the other side. Unfortunately, during the preseason, he didn't really rack up too many stats at all. Nice hit there from Byron Jones, and they're going to call that a touchdown. There must have been a stretch or something that we didn't see. It looked like a great tackle from Jones, but ref says touchdown. And with the Raiders just squeaking into the end zone, our offense will take their first possession here. A few changes have happened in terms of different guys playing at different spots. We did end up losing a couple guys here and there. We obviously in the preseason traded away Chark as he wanted a higher contract. So we said, all right, you could go, and we trusted in Dyson. And unfortunately, Dyson drops his first target, at least, as a starter for us. He showed a lot of promise last year, so we want to see if he can fulfill that promise. Going to dump this off to Flanagan, who has plenty of room to run. Breaks the first contact. If Dyson came back to get some blocks, you might have a few more yards there. But a fantastic play from our star tight end in Flanagan. But besides Dyson, for the most part, receivers about the same. Jefferson and Leach still out there. We do have a change on the offensive line. We now have the brothers Wild at guard. So hopefully they can be a really good tandem for us. Obviously, quite a few years ago, the Vikings had some brother tandems. I'm pretty sure they were brothers. I want to say it was Williams defensive tackles that ended up being really good for us. So hopefully we'll see similarly to that, but with the offensive line, as we find Jefferson here for a decent strike, getting us down to about the 27, mark it as a gain of 13. But I would say besides that, for the most part, that's about it on offense. We do have some new backup players and maybe some new rotational kind of guys, but for the most part, that's about it. We're going to have to roll out, toss this one out. Just didn't end up finding anyone open, and that's how we're going to end the first quarter. Currently down 7-0, but we are really close to our own end zone. And to start the second quarter, we'll come out 2nd and 10 at the 27. Just going to extend Flanagan's route just a little bit deeper. See if they could bite. That corner does end up dropping back. Flanagan almost gets the one-hand snag. Really nice recovery on that play. I thought that corner was staying underneath, but he ends up dropping back as soon as I throw it. So really good job from Flanagan, just not quite good enough. And on 3rd and 10, interested in seeing if Dyson can get to the outside, get to that pylon. We also have Jefferson on the other side, who has the height and the release. Going to depend on what these safeties do. We have a one-on-one. Dyson not able to bring it in. I like the aggressiveness there, but would have obviously liked to get one of those completed. And we do have a new kicker out as well. We traded Younghoe Koo to the Jets. We saw him in the preseason. We ended up signing Harrison Butker because we didn't have a great season from Younghoe Koo last year. So we brought in Butker, and he hits his first as a Minnesota Viking. And the Raiders offense will retake the field, still with the lead 7-3 following our field goal. They'll start at the 25. Hopefully our defense can put together a little bit of a better drive here than they had last time. Nice job from Larkin, though, to find the open tight end. 7 of 7 on the day for 77 yards. If you're one of those people that likes the repeating pattern, probably a nice one there for you. We go for another pass play here. Larkin going to scramble. Kendricks gets spun out. Brooks there to get the tackle. Saw Kendricks go for the big hit, but Larkin makes a miss with a simple spin. And defense definitely at a state right now that it's kind of regressing in a bit with a lot of our key guys getting older and just regressing. We've been able to bring in some younger guys who have kind of outgrown the regression guys. Main one being Brooks, who's now our highest rated linebacker. And Graves will shortly overtake Michael Pierce for DTs. Obviously, we still have a few guys out there, like Denzel Ward with the pick. This could be 6 if he could outrun Ruggs, who is slowly gaining on him. But that's going to be a pick 6 week 1 for our number 1 corner. Denzel Ward read that perfectly, broke on the ball, got the nice catch. He didn't really bite on the play fake. And didn't really need any blocking either. He just read that a bit better than Renfro did. He almost got tackled by Reed, but it was pure speed that took him to the house. And that was one heck of an answer back for our defense to what they did on their first drive out there. We'll see if they could do the same here on their third drive or just find a solid middle ground. Kendricks read that play beautifully. We saw him shift over a little bit with the fake jet sweep, but then filled that hole and tackled Jacobs right about at the original line of scrimmage. Really good job from him and our D-line up front. And unfortunately, with this being the last season, doesn't really matter what the scouts are doing, but I did just happen to set it up, took a quick look at what this next draft class really seems to be like. Ward maybe going for another one, and he's going to get a second pick, this time on Ruggs, and will cut out of bounds, avoid the hit. Fantastic start for the year for Denzel Ward. Already 2 interceptions. I believe that's about what he even had in total last year. Larkin just trying to do a little bit too much here. Ends up being underthrown. And Ruggs didn't really fight very well for it. Ward just got good position on it and got another pick. But as I was saying before that fantastic play, I'm going to take a quick look at the outside here and maybe see if we could get Leach down the sideline. But I did take a quick look at the next draft class, and it is stacked at defense. And speaking of stacked, we're stacking on points. 46-yard strike to Leach. Beautiful pass from Robinson, just thrown just past where that corner could get it. Only Leach had a chance at this one. Just perfectly in stride, falls down into the end zone. A quick answer right after that interception from Ward. And we obviously saw Leach a couple times last year play a little bit of that outside receiver, but primarily he was a slot guy. This year we shifted him to the outside with Dyson getting the start in the slot, and that was a great first look for him. Handled the coverage just perfectly, stuck to the outside. Also, again, great throw from Robinson. Help us get a nice 10-point lead here as they go for a quick stripe, and that's picked off again. Byron Jones this time, one-hand diving interception. Defense, they're stepping up right now. I know I talked a little bit bad about them earlier, talking about how a lot of these older guys are regressing, but they're putting up some plays. So far, 3 interceptions for us, all on back-to-back-to-back drives, matching our Super Bowl victories. We're going to send Thurston in motion here, run to the right, try to follow behind some blocks. Maybe if I cut to the outside, might have been a little bit more running room for Cook. Now on 2nd and 8, we do have a new tight end in Capers, who will be the number 2 tight end for us. He has a bunch of speed, not a whole lot in terms... Oh, that is not a fumble. This happened to us several times at the end of the regular season last year in the Seattle game, where we are throwing the ball and get hit mid-throwing motion, and Madden keeps calling it a fumble, even though it should be listed as an incompletion. You see arm going forward there, but Madden doesn't have that in its logic. Will be a fumble here for Robinson, which honestly was, I mean, despite just losing possession, is really unfortunate because we had an open, I believe it was Justin Jefferson, in the back of the end zone all by himself. So really unfortunate there. They're going to go to Ruggs here. This time Ruggs will, I think he caught it. Actually, they're going to call it incomplete. And that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. I guess they marked his second foot as landing out of bounds rather than landing inbounds. Nice pass breakup there from Jones, intended for the running back. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10. Honestly, we're more of a man coverage corner style team, but we're going to run a little bit of zone coverage here. Danielle Hunter just a split second too late, and Harvey Keenan overran the receiver. I don't know why. He clearly saw where the receiver was standing, and a really good job, I will say, from Larkin to get that ball thrown out prior to passing the line of scrimmage. And they'll come out empty set here. We're going to bring the safety down on a blitz. Double A-gap look, try to get around the edge. They go for a quick pass, though. Reed Jr. there to get the tackle. So he'll stay in for right now. Haven't seen really any poor play from Reed. So for now, we'll keep Adoree at the sideline until we see some poor play from not from Wilcox. That's Adoree's last name. But honestly, I would say this is pretty similar as we hit the 2-minute warning here to this Super Bowl, where the Raiders have shown they could drive the ball on us, honestly, pretty easily. But we've also just been able to force some really good turnovers and just made some splash plays on defense to help really separate us from what they were doing. And just, again, about a step behind, again, with the linebacker. Brooks not able to get down in time to break that one up. And that will give the Raiders a first down here at the 28. They had to come out in an empty set. Reed Jr. did a pretty good job on coverage there, and just a poor pass from Larkin. Larkin's been fairly accurate, just good plays made from our corners to jump passes. But that one was extremely inaccurate, as they're going to find Waller here, brought down by Reed. We're in man coverage, just had a kind of a jumble of different guys all in the middle there. You could see a bit of our last draft here, a lot of guys that we had brought in. And not all of them will see the field, at least in a starting rotation. If we get some blowouts happening, we could definitely bring in some younger guys. Gonna miss the tackle. Big hit there from Henley. But they're down to the 8 from number 8. And they'll call their first timeout. I believe we're about around a minute, maybe a little bit under, and it was just a little bit under. They call the timeout with 53 seconds left. We're going to come out with a double A-gap blitz here, try to back them up. Daniil Hunter trying to fight through them, and that one's passed out of the back of the end zone. We'll continue to bring a bit of pressure here, but shake things up just a little bit. Go with a zone blitz out of the double A-gap. Make sure we're getting a guy on a lot of these underneath guys. Renfro gets them close, but two of our DBs come in to get the tackle at the 2. And now 3rd and goal. They come out empty set. We're going to make a quick adjustment to what we're reading for here. Good job from Keenan. Here comes Graves, and Graves will get his first sack of the season. Good to see him back at DT. He did a pretty good job at end for us last year when we had to move Watt into DT, just because he wasn't extremely built well for the outside, at least at this point in his career. I believe he might have even retired in the offseason. But a great hold stop there from our defense. We'll force a field goal attempt here as we end the first half. We'll try to get Wilcox around the end. Not quite quick enough. They'll tack 3 on the board, making it 17-10 as we head on into halftime. And as the teams head in, take a quick look at what the board looks like. Now, they definitely have the advantage in terms of yards, but we haven't had to go very far with 3 turnovers, one being a pick 6, and then the other kind of putting us in really good position. Now, obviously, no games happening right now. This is Thursday night prime time, so the first game of the NFL season is a rematch of the Super Bowl. We'll see how the rest of these games kind of fold out, at least in terms of our division, when we sim on over to the next week. And to start the second half, we will be receiving the kickoff. And hopefully we could kind of continue a bit of what we did in the first half. Force some turnovers, get some quick strikes on offense. Would also like to see some steady play from both sides as well. Nwangwu takes us up to the 26, and that's where we'll start. Now, honestly, offense wasn't out there all too much in the first half, so try to take things a little steady here with them. Get Cook involved. He gets plenty of room to run. Gain of about 12-13 yards on the first carry. And now also with Dyson at full-time slot receiver, it won't be teeing off to the defense whenever he's at slot, so we could run a bit more of the jet sweep and not able to get to the outside. 32 does a nice job of containing Dyson. Still solid game. It'll be 2nd and inches. Stay in that same formation. They have 2 safeties deep, so we won't check play here. Go with the draw. Cook gets just enough on that one. And I was considering taking a shot here, but they stay out with the 2 deep safeties. Plus, they're not playing any sort of tight coverage, so roll out here, try to see what we could find, and it's not going to be much. So Robinson, scoot forward, slide down, avoid a hit, and I believe we're going to not get the call for the first down. So again, 2nd and inches will come out here. Heavier set, bring out 2 tight ends and Thurston, who are going to motion over to the left. We're going to hand this one off to Cook. Follow behind some blockers. Try to get by 25. He's not able to. Nice tackle in open field. But a solid gain for us will be another first down. And we'll stay out in that same formation here. Only 1 deep safety. Potentially we'll be able to get some... One of these guys will be open. Normally it's a crossing from the tight end. So we'll look there first. Going to go for Capers. Rookie tight end gets his first catch of his career. Gets about 15 yards for taking a pretty solid hit. And we'll keep him out there. Again, Capers not great in terms of run blocking. If we ever go 3 tight ends, Lucas will come back out here, who was our number 2 tight end last year. Just we needed an upgrade in terms of speed and hands. And Capers fit that very well, so hopefully he can progress a bit in terms of his blocking ability. But for the most part, I think he's a solid upgrade there. As we're going to go for Jefferson here, who's in for his first touchdown. Nice placement from Robinson in that perfect window. Gives Jefferson enough space to kind of make a little bit of a move, find himself into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season. He came on strong last year, especially in the second half with a lot of touchdowns. The yardage technically wasn't all there, but he's definitely been a red zone threat for us for sure. And with us now sitting with a fairly comfortable 14-point lead, at least for now, knock on wood. I want to take a couple minutes here to try to talk a little bit about future things coming to the channel. So obviously we have Madden 23 coming out in a couple months. I believe it's early August that it's supposed to come out. And right now we're sitting early July, at least while I'm recording this. I believe I'm recording it about a week before it goes out. So should be about mid-August, or mid-August, wow, mid-July. And I have a feeling this series will get us to around about the beginning of Madden 23. There might be a little gap in between, perhaps, depending on if I keep the current schedule of this series being posted twice a week, Monday and Thursday, or if we increase that a little bit to wrap up this series definitely before Madden 23 gets here. Kind of depends a little bit, but I want to hear a little bit about what you guys are wanting to see when Madden 23 comes out, or if we do have a gap in between. So unfortunately not really a great way to have polls on these videos, so I really would suggest you guys check out my Twitter, BigBearB_gaming. I always have it linked in the description below so you guys can check it out. I will be posting polls as we get closer to the end of this season about what we're going to be doing next, and I want your guys' input, obviously, because you're the ones watching these, so I want to hear what you guys are wanting to see. Obviously, we have two different series going on this channel right now. This Vikings franchise, which is a bit more of a traditional Madden franchise. And then we have the state-only Madden Challenge fantasy franchise that we did, or are doing, with California being the first one. Obviously, my favorite college, as you've probably heard, is Stanford. So I wanted to start there and play with a lot of guys that I just have watched at Stanford for quite a while. And I've already recorded to the end of that series. I won't spoil how the ending goes, but I do suggest you guys check it out if you haven't already. It's a really fun series and definitely a bigger challenge than what we have here with the Vikings. And because it's such a nice challenge, I would like to continue doing some more of the state-only challenges, and it's going to end up, for the most part, being states, because there's obviously not a whole lot of players when it comes to each individual state, so I've already grouped them all together, and we'll be including those when it comes to the polling on Twitter. And while discussing that, I'm pretty sure I just missed Hatchet, our rookie left end or right end, getting his first career NFL sack. So nice job, and a really good job Byron Jones breaking that one up on 4th and long. I tried to play the ball with Harvey Keenan, but mistimed the pause, and really good job from Byron Jones to break that one up. Could have been an easy score there for the Raiders. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys want to see after the California and Viking franchises finish up. If we want to just kind of do a rush of state-only rebuilds, if we want to continue kind of that same pattern that we've been doing here with the state-only as well as a traditional. And depending on what you guys end up choosing will depend on a few more kind of polls that we end up doing, kind of helping you guys decide what states we do next. If we're doing traditional, what teams we do next. Do we go more for a complete rebuild, where we either take control of a team that is probably the oldest team or the lowest overall team? Or do we go with something else and try to build a particular style of team, like air raid, or try to build a read option kind of team in Madden? All that kind of stuff will be in polls soon on Twitter, so make sure you guys are following. Again, BigBearB_gaming, link always down in the description below. You'll also find my TikTok where I post the highlights from these games, typically back a few games from where we currently are in the season. And now with all of that out of the way, get back to the game here. Kelly checking in at running back for his first carry of the season. Nice job from Thurston to get that block. But unfortunately, Flanagan gets up a little gingerly, I guess. It looks like it got up pretty easily, but hopefully that just means it's a minor injury, as it looks like he's just over on the bench. So hopefully nothing too serious for him. And we will have Capers go out for number 1 tight end for the remainder of this game, which does put Lucas back in at that 2 spot. But we'll continue here, 2nd and 3. Go back to the run with Kelly, who played amazingly for us in the injury period that we had with Cook at the end of last regular season. He played fantastic, got the extension. All running backs for us got extensions. This is honestly a very balanced team, as we find out dislocated thumb for Flanagan. We will go ahead and keep him out. Yeah, I just felt like this is a very well-balanced team that we've built here. We could attack in the passing game, in the rushing game, which is why in those polls I want to hear what you guys want to see next, whether it be all run, all pass, another balanced, maybe try to build that read option kind of thing. So I would love the input there. We're going to go with a play action here. 2nd and 3. We are chewing clock. Would maybe be able to get Leach open. However, they do a good job dropping that safety. And that pass thrown a bit too far downfield. Dyson tried to get back, but it's going to end up being picked off. Number 2 will get the INT. That is Preston. First interception on the year for Robinson. We had Dyson open, but that ball just kind of sailed a little too far on Robinson. If that was thrown maybe a little bit shorter, Dyson could have got that on the run. Dyson got there with his speed, but he ended up playing a very poor corner role. And the Las Vegas Raiders will take over here. Starting at the 13, they're down 2 scores with just under 3.5 minutes remaining. They're going to motion out Josh Jacobs, making it an empty set here for the Raiders. Larkin goes with a quick slant and a nice hurdle from Ruggs over. I believe that was Kendricks. Ends up netting him maybe an extra yard or 2. Going to make a slight adjustment to our play call here. Bring the blitz from the interior. And Hilton just has a clear shot at Larkin, who throws that pass just a little early. The pressure there from Eldra Hilton forces the incompletion, as it was just mistimed, just threw off the timing. Going to try to bring Henley on a blitz here as well. Nice pickup from their center to get over. And Waller almost tried to go for another hurdle. Keenan just a little bit too tall there, forces the tackle. But would have been nice to see a tight end get a hurdle. But that does give the Raiders first down up to the 37. Now under 2.5 minutes remaining. They do have all 3 timeouts, but still need 2 touchdowns. And that one could have been a little sketchy, but a good job from Waller to come back to the ball. And there's the 2-minute warning. So time running out here for the Raiders. They technically have enough time to make it a game, though. So I wouldn't say it's over yet. Big plays have happened on us inside 2 minutes. That's what the Vikings are mostly known for. They go with another check down here. Ruggs goes with a spin, but does not get by Kendricks. As they'll go into a hurry-up offense here. Make a quick change of play call. Sit underneath here, except not close enough. A nice job from Renfro. Didn't even put on a move, just ran. A little bit of a Pac-Man style run there with a hard 90 cut without even losing any momentum. We'll shift over the D-line. Make sure we have a linebacker cutting underneath the tight end. And Jones will force Josh Jacobs. Yes. For a second, I was like, his last name is Josh. No, it's his first name. He's just a J and a J. Make an adjustment here. Try to bring a bit of a blitz. Try to get home at all. Nice pickup. Keenan will finally get there, though. Tackle around about the original line of scrimmage. Will actually be a loss of 2. As we'll go into a deep coverage here. Trying to make sure we have a guy on everyone. But they clear it out for Waller, who's going to get the completion and a run all the way down to the 8. Under a minute remaining, though. They have some timeouts. They have time, but Brooks says, nail in the coffin here. He's trying to sprint away, and he will be sprinting away. No one going to catch Brooks. This will be a pick 6 to put the nail in the coffin. This game is a wrap. 4 interceptions on the day for Larkin. We had a couple turnovers ourselves on offense, but defense came to play today and just rose to the challenge of a declining stars and rising young guys. And we will celebrate a victory week 1. The last play, obviously, we saw being that pick 6 from Alex Brooks. They did have another drive, but we were able to get, honestly, it was just a hit party on Larkin. It was just tossing the ball up, taking shot after shot. But we will celebrate the victory here, week 1, in what was a rematch of the Super Bowl. Ended up ending very similarly, I feel like, to the Super Bowl. They definitely led us in passing with 272. We only had 110, but well-balanced offense, defense, forcing turnovers. Great showing for a week 1 match, especially since a lot of these guys didn't all play together in the preseason. A lot of our starters got the rest. And that was one heck of a way to start the year. Week 2, we'll be staying at home. The New York Giants will be heading in. They won their first game, but they're not extremely well built. 80 overall, 81 offense, 79 defense, but we have a weekly award from that game. I'm going to assume Denzel. It is Denzel. 5 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown on the day. He played very well. The DBs played, honestly, pretty well, just across the board. Byron Jones, got burned early on, but really came back with a one-hand diving interception, that breakup towards the end. So really good from him. And a lot of just good plays all the way around. And it looks like a few more of our guys have been picked up from our practice squad. Alfonso Spence. The name sounds familiar, but I can't remember what position it was that he played. And then the Rams signed Dimitri Bond, who was a receiver, undrafted rookie receiver. I don't even think he had a single catch in the preseason, so he went to the practice squad. Rams picked him up, so he'll be joining DJ Chark Jr. and our former quarterback in Dwight Saunders at the Rams. And then Alfonso Spence, I want to say he was an edge guy. Maybe an edge/DT guy, but either way, those two are signed. Hopefully they have a much more productive time at their next team, but good start for us. Next game, like I said, will be against the Giants at home. We are the only NFC North team who won in Week 1, so have a solid start to the season there as well. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Make sure you stick around by hitting that subscription button below, as well as ticking that bell notification to be notified of when these go live. Vikings series every Monday and Thursday. The California only posted every Saturday. So make sure you're checking that one out as well. And like I said, make sure you're checking out the Twitter, linked down in the description below, to vote on those polls that will get posted probably when we get a little bit closer towards the end of the season. I'd say about midway through. That way it gives me a little time to start pre-recording if we do end up doing some more things on Madden 22 before Madden 23 comes out. So like I said, I hope you guys are enjoying, and until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.